Barcelona v Real Madrid. Everything you need to know about this weekend's El Clasico. This weekend will mark the biggest fixture in Spanish domestic football, El Clasico. It's the clash between the country's biggest sides, and this year, it really could go either way. La Liga expert David Cartledge runs through the big questions ahead of this weekend's clash. How well have Barcelona/Madrid been performing? Barcelona have been in considerably better form this season, and only this past weekend dropped their first points of the season in the league. A draw with Osasuna brought an end to a winning run of 8 games. In that time Tata Martino became the first coach in history to win his first La Liga games. It's an interesting start to the season because Xavi and Andres Iniesta haven't been as influential. The three I'd single out at this moment are Cesc, Neymar and Sergio Busquets. It's of course a given that Lionel Messi is influential. As for Real Madrid, well, there are severe teething problems. There was a significant overhaul in the summer, and while Barca also changed their coach, the transition is more wide-ranging with Los Merengues. Jose Mourinho was such a big character, and replacing that will always take time, even with someone of Carlo Ancelotti's experience. Then there is the personnel brought in, and those that left. The certain German now with Arsenal has been missed. In time though, they'll get there. They have an amazing squad. What do the Spanish press make of Gareth Bale? To be honest, Bale's career at Real Madrid thus far has been too intermittent to make any real analysis. The injuries and fitness, plus the media furor surrounding him, have gotten in the way in this regard. As a player, they haven't said much. As a person, they like him. He gave a great presentation when signing, and came across as being very charming. Very likable. This is Neymar's first Clasico. Can't he have an impact? Yes, the massive one. Neymar has been sensational since his arrival, on and off the field. On it he's worked hard, showed flashes of linking together with Messi, and of course offered that individual quality. Off it he's been humble, and just as the same with Bale, very likable. Neymar settling in has been, in a word, perfect. Are Barcelona suffering from the lack of a proper number 9? I think they could do with one, certainly. More pressing is the issue of a top-class centre-back though. Carles Puyol is wounded permanently too and can't reach the same levels as before as hard as he tries. Gerard Piqué needs a proper partner, not just because he can't be entirely trusted but because Puyol is winding down, but Barca genuinely is short in that position. Thiago Silva would have been perfect, but Barca's hierarchy are toying with a club at the moment. To answer your question properly though, the proper 9 would offer a different dimension to the system of Martino's, and would combat teams who defend with deep blocks. How is Diego Lopez keeping Iker Casillas out of the Real side? By being very, very good. Diego Lopez hasn't let anyone down, and Jose Mourinho's decision to play him has been entirely vindicated. It was long ago. It doesn't make Iker Casillas a bad goalkeeper, it just means right now the form player is ahead of him, justifiably so. It is sad though, from a neutral point of view, to see Casillas on the bench. I think the whole of Spain is sad, somewhat, no matter who they support. He's a legend given his actions with Spain. What are the weaknesses of both sides? For Barcelona, the limits within the squad. If they came up against a Bayern tomorrow, they'd still be in serious trouble. If the game is 1-0 to Madrid, 10 minutes left, the options are rather light. Against Osasuna, the sight of Sergi Roberto, Christian Fellow, Alex Song and Jonathan Dos Santos wasn't enthusing. They need more depth, more quality and more options for the system. Real Madrid meanwhile, the transition is their main weakness. There is a lot of conversation and confusion with them on the pitch at any given moment. Some still don't properly know their role in this team. This was highlighted in the defeat to Atleti, their city rivals. How will both sides line up? Barcelona, Valdez, Dani Alves, Puyol, Piqué, Adriano, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Cesc, Neymar. Real Madrid, Lopez, Arbeloa, Ramos, Varane, Marcelo, Illarramendi, Kadura, Modric, Isco, Di Maria, and Aldo. Who will triumph? I'm going to saw a draw, 2-2.